A warm hello and welcome. I'm Coach Rae, your go-to for narration and conversation on topics that keep you alive and well-ish. Follow me for practical tips, expert insight, and motivational stories to help you build a better life. Thank you for joining me today for an abridged group coaching session. A little about me. I'm a nationally board certified health and wellness coach with over a decade of experience helping individuals achieve their goals. I began as a personal trainer and master nutritionist, supporting military members and their families. Later, I built Alive and Wellish, my passion project and brand for personal development content and wellness products. In my career, I have used my expertise to support the growing telehealth industry, helping launch several health and wellness programs for large tech startups. In this presentation, you will learn practical strategies to set realistic goals, adapt to change, stay motivated, and make self-care a priority. By the end of the session, you'll be equipped with actionable insight and practical tools to elevate both your personal and professional life. Think of this as a free coaching session focused on building resilience, finding balance, and creating lasting habits for long-term success. No matter where you are on your journey, this session will inspire and empower you to design the life you truly deserve. I will be revisiting and expanding on some topics I've shared before, so if you want to learn more, I encourage you to explore other Alive and Wellish content or reach out to share your thoughts. Before we begin, be sure you have a way to take notes. The first thing to write down is one word that captures your hope for the year ahead. Think of this word and keep it in mind as we explore goal setting, embracing change, and prioritizing you. When you're ready, let's take the next step towards a brighter future. You are worthy and capable of great things. So how do we get there? How can you make your word and hope for the year a reality? If you ever set a big goal or intention and thought, this is the year I can make it happen, but then somewhere along the way, life happens, you're not alone. Sometimes goals feel overwhelming, and then we're just not sure how to stay the course. To reset routines and build balance, we need to start small. The phrase, go big or go home, gets a lot of hype, but honestly, it can lead to burnout faster than you can say, where did my motivation go? Instead, focus on just one thing at a time. Break it into tiny, manageable steps. Let's say your word for the year is healthy. Rather than overhauling your entire routine overnight, start by blocking 10 minutes a day to focus on your health, whether that's a walk, journaling, or a healthy snack. Next, celebrate small wins. Each small step forward builds confidence and triggers a positive feedback loop. It's like giving yourself little high fives along the way. Let's stick with our healthy word example. Maybe one day you successfully took that 10-minute walk. Celebrate it. Share it with a friend, write it down, or even just take a moment to say, I did it. Those small wins create momentum and make the process feel exciting rather than daunting. Now, let's talk about non-food rewards and non-scale victories. When talking about small wins, it's easy to tie progress to physical outcomes, like a number on the scale or a specific achievement. But what about all the other amazing progress markers? Maybe you notice you're sleeping better, have more energy, or feel less stressed. Celebrate those wins. And when it's time for a reward, think beyond food or fancy drinks. A good book, a new playlist, or even just some quiet time can light up the reward center of your brain, as long as the reward is meaningful to you. The final tip for resetting routines and building balance is to try habit bundling. It's the practice that pairs a habit you want to build with something you already enjoy or do regularly. For example, if your goal is to practice gratitude, try writing down 3 things you're grateful for while you sip your morning coffee. It's a way to build habits that seamlessly fit into your existing routines. Whatever you try, remember that consistency is key. Progress beats perfection every single time. After all, life isn't about being perfect, it's about showing up. Some days you'll crush it. Other days, just showing up might be the win, and that's okay. SMART goals are specific, Measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. We're going to talk about why this framework works, the power of physically writing down your goals, and how to make your goals smarter. Simply put, SMART goals are the gold standard for giving your ideas structure, taking your wishes and hopes and turning them into reality. Goals like, I want to sleep better, sound nice, but they're vague. What does better mean? How do you measure it? When will you know you've succeeded? Instead, SMART goals add clarity and direction. That same goal becomes, I will go to bed at 10:30 p.m. on weeknights and reduce screen time by 30 minutes before bed. See the difference? It's specific, measurable, and includes a timeline. It also feels doable. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Write your goals down. Don't ask Alexa to make a note, don't type it into your phone, and don't rely on your memory to keep them organized. Physically put pen to paper and write your goals down. There's a landmark study from Dominican University that found people who wrote down their goals were 42% more likely to achieve them than those who didn't. When you write something down, it activates the reticular activation system, which is a part of your brain that filters information and decides what's important. Writing also triggers the encoding process, which helps move information from short-term to long-term memory. Every time you write or review your goals, you're strengthening the neural connections in your brain related to that goal. It's like building a mental roadmap towards what you want to achieve. Thinking about your own goals, are they specific enough? Can you measure your progress? Is there a clear timeline? And most importantly, is your goal realistic for where you are right now? Give yourself permission to adjust as you go. Goals aren't set in stone. They're tools to guide you, not rules to confine you. I challenge you to write down one SMART goal today, just one. Feel the power of turning your intention into something tangible and watch how it strengthens your commitment. If you're seeking additional guidance or a structured tool to support your goal-setting journey, consider the Goalfish Journal, now available on Amazon. I designed this SMART goal journal with intentional prompts to help you stay focused and organized, all while giving you plenty of space to document your progress and reassess your needs as you go. Once you have your SMART goals set, it's time to create an action plan. Since motivation isn't stable, you will need an action plan that's not only practical, but also deeply personal and effective. Whether you're working toward a fitness goal, career milestone, or personal growth, this framework will help you move forward with clarity and purpose. Let's start with getting to know yourself better and defining your why. Ask yourself, why do I want this? What motivates me? What holds me back? Continue asking why until you find the deeper, often emotional reason behind making changes. Defining your why helps you stay grounded when things get tough. If defining your why doesn't resonate with you, take some time to connect with your 5 senses. For example, figure out what music energizes you, which scents help you relax, or even what textures or objects keep you focused. These small details can reveal a lot about what drives you. Other things to consider when exploring your senses are biofeedback and biohacking techniques. Fitness trackers can help you tune into your body's signals, and biohacking techniques like intermittent fasting or cold exposure may improve your focus, energy, and resilience. Experiment with what works best for you, and remember, these methods are about optimization, not perfection. Please don't fear failure. In fact, create a failure resume. Write down all the times things didn't go as planned, but also note what you learned and how you grew from that experience. Failure and imperfection are powerful indicators that it's time to refine your SMART goal and helps us build resilience. It's not about avoiding mistakes, it's about learning from them. After all, if you've always done things the same way and it's not working, it's time to try something new. And we are rarely, if ever, good at new things. Take a moment to reflect. Where are you now compared to where you want to be? Understanding this frame of reference isn't about judgment, it's about clarity. Knowing your starting point helps you map out the steps to reach your destination. For example, if your goal is to become a better runner, it's important to surround yourself with people who are faster or already achieving the goals you aspire to. Running with those who challenge your pace and push your limits helps you grow. On the other hand, if you're consistently the fastest person in your group, you may plateau because you're not being challenged to improve. Expanding your frame of reference beyond what's familiar can inspire you to reach new levels of performance. Keep in mind, though, if you ever find the journey becomes more of a chore than a fun challenge, you may need to consider a new approach. This could mean gamifying your goals with points and rewards, or switching up your approach entirely. Sometimes it's about finding joy and curiosity instead of simply powering through. While this doesn't mean things will always be easy, making changes doesn't need to be overly complicated. Tracking and accountability are key to staying focused and making consistent progress. There are countless apps and devices to help you get started. If you're looking for a structured and versatile tool for your fitness, check out the gym journal I created. It's also available on Amazon and is designed for everyone, from beginners to fitness competitors, and makes tracking simple and effective. It's important to find a tracking and accountability system that aligns with your needs. Sharing your goals with others can foster a sense of responsibility and provide valuable emotional support. However, keeping your goals private can strengthen self-reliance and help you stay focused without the influence of external opinions. That said, there is an important balance to consider. Sharing your goals too often can create a false sense of accomplishment, giving you the satisfaction of progress without actually taking any action. This can be quite counterintuitive. I encourage you to strike a healthy balance between intrinsic motivation, which is driven by your personal fulfillment, and extrinsic motivation, which is something like external validation, to keep you moving steadily towards your goals. No matter how you hold yourself accountable, make it a habit to regularly check in with yourself. Reflect on your progress, learn from what's working and what's not, and make adjustments as needed. Remember, growth is a process, not a straight line. If you're ready to take the next step, take a moment to write down a clear plan or a few actionable items to try over the next 2 weeks. Focus on steps that will bring you closer to your goals and help turn your hopes for the year into a meaningful reality. Now, let's proactively discuss some of the common barriers to reaching our goals and, more importantly, how we can overcome them. Achieving goals isn't always a straight path, but with the right strategies, self-compassion, and mindset, it's absolutely possible. Let's start by identifying some of the most common challenges. Time and resources. Busy schedules, financial constraints, or limited support can make it tough to stay on track. Physical or emotional barriers. Chronic pain, stress, or mental health challenges can slow progress. Environmental limitations. A lack of safe spaces to exercise or access to healthy food can be a hurdle. Uncertainty about reliable information. With so much conflicting information and advice out there, it's hard to know where to start. But here's the good news. For every barrier, there's a solution. One effective strategy is to use anchors. These are simple visual cues or habits that remind you of your goals. For example, place a sticky note on your mirror with a motivational quote. Schedule wellness appointments on your calendar with yourself, treating them like non-negotiable meetings. Revisit your why regularly to stay motivated. When life gets busy or things just don't go as planned, think about troubleshooting. Just like you wouldn't throw away a computer if it's running slow, don't give up on yourself when things feel off. Our minds and bodies can be overloaded and outdated in our approach. Consider trying these troubleshooting techniques. Follow the never miss twice rule. If you miss one planned workout or healthy meal, get back on track with the next opportunity. Experiment with creative solutions. For instance, if you want to drink less alcohol or snack more mindfully, try using your non-dominant hand to slow down the process. The key is flexibility and persistence. Another crucial piece of the puzzle is self-compassion. Research by Dr. Kristen Neff highlights the 3 pillars to keep in mind. Self-kindness versus self-judgment. Instead of criticizing yourself, try saying, "I'm doing my best in this moment." Common humanity versus isolation. Remember, struggles and mistakes are part of the shared human experience. You are not alone in this. Mindfulness versus over-identification. Be aware of your emotions without letting them define you. Here's an example. Let's say you forgot your friend's birthday. Instead of saying, "I'm a bad friend," reframe it as, "I made a mistake, but I care deeply about my friend and can make this right." This reframe isn't an excuse. It's a way to learn and move forward with kindness towards yourself. As Brené Brown reminds us, we will never be perfect, but we can always be better. Avoid hiding behind perfectionism or letting fear of failure stop you from taking risks. When we practice self-compassion and embrace vulnerability, we open ourselves up to growth and resilience. And remember, change takes time. It's important to be patient, kind to yourself, and maybe even laugh a little along the way. As you try to make changes, you may notice an increase in thought distortions, those sneaky, unhelpful ways of thinking that can cloud our judgment and make challenges feel bigger than they are. The good news is that once you're aware of them, you can start taking steps to reframe your thoughts and approach situations with a clearer, kinder mindset. Thought distortions are patterns of thinking that twist reality in a way that's often unhelpful or inaccurate. They're common. We all experience them from time to time, but they can keep us stuck if we're not mindful. Here are 5 common thought distortions to watch out for. All or nothing thinking. Seeing things in extremes with no middle ground. For example, if I can't do this perfectly, I shouldn't bother at all. Catastrophizing. Drawing broad negative conclusions from a single event. For instance, I made one mistake, now everything is ruined. Should statements. Placing unrealistic expectations on yourself or others, like, "I should always be able to handle everything on my own." Discounting positives. Ignoring or minimizing your achievements. For example, "That doesn't count, it was just luck." Fortune telling. Predicting negative outcomes without evidence. Thinking, "I'll fail, so why even try?" Do any of these sound familiar? If so, don't worry. You're not alone, and there are ways to work through them. The first step is to identify the distortion. Awareness is the first step. Pay attention to recurring thought patterns that don't serve you. Next, ask yourself, is this based on facts or is it rooted in feelings and fear? Often, we'll find our distortions are driven by emotion rather than evidence. Then, if appropriate, reframe the thought. Look for a more balanced, realistic perspective. For instance, instead of saying, "I failed this one task, so I'm a failure," reframe it as, "This task didn't go as planned, but I can learn from it and try again." Through it all, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Avoid saying things to yourself that you wouldn't say to a loved one, or you wouldn't allow someone else to say to you. Let's say you missed a deadline at work. Instead of thinking, "I'm so irresponsible," try reframing it. "I had a lot on my plate and didn't manage my time well, but I can create a plan to stay on track moving forward." This isn't about making excuses. It's about acknowledging the situation with honesty and kindness so you can grow from it instead of getting stuck in shame or self-criticism. Thought distortions are part of being human, but they don't have to control your mindset. By identifying them, challenging their validity, and reframing with compassion, you can start building healthier thought patterns that empower you rather than hold you back. I've become deeply passionate about the idea of suffering. Not the sense of glorifying pain, but in learning how to move through it with grace, skill, and tact. Suffering is inevitable. It's part of the human experience, but how we respond to it is a choice. Suffering effectively means acknowledging discomfort, understanding it, and using it as a catalyst for growth rather than a reason to give up your power. If this topic interests you, I was invited to a podcast to speak more on this, and that link can be found on my website. Building resilience increases your ability to bounce back from setbacks and stay strong in the face of challenges. Resilience is essential for maintaining mental and emotional well-being, especially when life feels overwhelming. One powerful tool for building resilience is gratitude. Journaling about the things you're grateful for each day shifts your focus from what's going wrong to what's going right. It helps rewire your brain to notice the positives in life, even on tough days. Another essential practice is self-care and self-compassion. Resilience doesn't mean pushing yourself to the limit without rest. It's about taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional needs. This could look like a warm bath, reading, or doing a puzzle, or simply taking a few moments each day to pause and breathe. Being kind to yourself during difficult moments is key to maintaining long-term resilience. Another incredibly effective tool is being mindful of and using your breath. The 5-5-5 technique is a simple breathing technique that you can practice anywhere. Here's how it works. Inhale deeply for a count of 5, hold your breath for 5 seconds, then exhale slowly for 5 seconds. If you're willing and able, I'd love to guide you through it. Let's do 3 rounds together. Ready? Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. This simple exercise can calm the nervous system, reduce stress, and reset your mindset in moments of tension or overwhelm. As you work on rebuilding resilience or building it in the first place, it's important to think about the big picture or your long-term goals. When you're making changes or setting new intentions, ask yourself, am I willing to sustain these changes for the next 5 weeks or even 5 years? If the answer is no, it may be time to reconsider your approach. Small, sustainable changes are often more effective than drastic ones that aren't aligned with your long-term life goals. Speaking of life goals, make sure your actions and changes align with your core values. Ask yourself, does this change move me closer to my overall life goals? If not, it might be worth revisiting why you're making that change in the first place. And finally, remember that resilience doesn't mean doing everything alone. If you're struggling, don't hesitate to seek help, whether it's from a mentor, a coach, or a mental health professional. Getting support can help you build the resilience you need to thrive. Self-care is not a luxury. It's an essential part of maintaining your well-being. Self-care isn't just about taking a break when you're exhausted. It's a powerful tool that replenishes your energy, reduces stress, and enhances resilience. Let's dive into why self-care is so important and how you can make it an integral part of your routine. Self-care plays a crucial role in maintaining your overall health. It helps reduce stress, prevents burnout, and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes relaxation and restores mental balance. By regularly practicing self-care, we're reducing the risk for chronic illness, managing anxiety, and improving our focus. Think of it this way. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you're not taking the time to care for yourself, you won't have the energy or capacity to help others. It's not selfish, it's necessary. Prioritizing self-care means you can show up as your best self for your loved ones, your work, and your goals. Another important part of self-care is celebrating those wins. no matter how big or small. These don't have to be just health-related, although health is a big part of it. Celebrate non-scale victories, whether it's finding balance in your day, achieving your work goals, or even just getting some much-needed rest. Remember, success in one area of life can positively impact your overall sense of well-being. When we celebrate our wins, we reinforce the habits and mindset that drives our success. Now, let's talk about creating your own self-care menu. Think of this as a list of activities that help you recharge, relax, and reset. These could range from a walk in nature to reading, yoga, journaling, or simply sitting in silence for a few moments. The key is to create a list of things that brings you joy and restoration, and make them accessible whenever you need them. Having a self-care menu ensures that you always have options, especially on days when you might feel overwhelmed or uncertain about how to take care of yourself. And remember, self-care isn't just a one-time event. It's a practice that you can make part of your daily routine. A quick public safety announcement before we complete this session. Coaching can provide valuable guidance and support, but it's not a substitute for medical advice or treatment. A trusted healthcare provider ensures your health journey is safe, personalized, and effective, offering expertise in diagnosis, treatment, and prescriptive care. Together, your healthcare team and coach can help you set realistic goals, build healthy habits, and achieve lasting results. Prioritize your well-being by finding licensed professionals that you can trust. These may include anyone from energy healers and naturopaths, or physical therapists and chiropractors, to physicians, psychiatrists, pharmacists, or other specialists. Build that collaborative support system for your health. You should care about yourself the most and prioritize your health every day. You are worthy of wellness. Thank you for joining me today. This concludes the Thrive presentation and coaching session on goal setting, embracing change, and prioritizing you. Remember, it's not about reaching a destination, it's about embracing the beautiful messiness of life and finding joy along the way. Take what you need from this and leave the rest. Until next time, stay well, my friends.